Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes, good evening. What about the other students? Okay. Whether the screen is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now here, the basis of segmentation. Okay, purposefully I did not take this part first since it would be confused with the consumers or the business markets with the consumer markets. Okay, that's why I discussed the target marketing and then I'm going back again to the segmentation part. Now here we saw in the consumer markets. Okay, how does this consumer market differs from the business markets, or it is this the other term used for this business market is the industrial markets. So first let us understand what is the difference between the consumer market and the business market or industrial market before going on to this segmentation. So here as far as the consumer market is considered, it's for the individual consumption. Maybe individually person consumes the product or a good or avail the services, or maybe the family. Okay. In many of the cases also we see that it's a family consumption. Now here when I say it's a business market or a industrial market, that means here the first and foremost thing, the consumption is more. That is more products are consumed. So here in case of individuals, okay, or a family, in case of family, the purchase is restricted to a single item, or maybe they do not stock much more or buy more, while in case of business market or industrial buying, it is in the bulk quantities. So here first point of differentiation is that individual consumption, and here it is for the sake of business consumption. Hello. So here the first point is the individual consumption versus the bulk consumption. Individual orders or maybe in small quantities, and here there are the bulk orders as far as the industrial or business markets are considered. Next thing, purchasing process is more simpler in consumer market. So here when the consumer thinks of purchasing or buying a product, in that case he takes into account his own needs. Okay, he has if he's a single individual, if he is purchasing for his own sakes, or some maybe sometimes it happens that a head of the family takes the decision, or maybe the kids want some products and they, because they wanted, the parents on the behalf of them they purchased it. So here it depends upon the product category. If it's monetarily, if more value is involved, then basically uh, they give emphasis on more attributes and a thought process. But if it is a consumable or it's related to kids or anything like that, they don't take much time, they don't waste much time in decision making, they just take it as the amount is nominal in this. But if it is a luxurious goods, if it is a high end product, in that case maybe They will think, they will take the opinion, they will meet the salesperson, try to uh, make themselves comfortable as far as the information awareness about the product is considered, and take a decision. So here maybe one or two people are involved as far as this purchasing and decision making is considered. But this thing doesn't happen when you can go for this business markets or industrial purchase. In case of business markets or industrial purchase, again, if it is a public sector, the things are different. If it is a private sector, the things are different. If it's into the private businesses, they have their own norms, their own procedures. So here one has to take into consideration the views and opinions of at least 3 to 4 people, those who are in the top cadre of the management. The more bulk is the order, the more is the money involved, the more are the complexities in the purchasing. Here, even the credit plays an important role. If it is again a government institution, then again their process is more important. The documentation is important. So here, as far as business market is considered, decision making process becomes complex as there is more involvement of people. In case of consumer markets, it's better if you convince 1 or 2% ho gaya, but that's not the case. In case of business markets, you need to have proper presentations. Here it's a formal representation, so care should be taken that each and every of the query addressed should be satisfied or addressed to the concerned person, to the concerned manager. So here there may be involvement of a purchase manager, a financial manager, a marketing manager, because budget is the constraint, requirement is given by the marketing person on the basis of sales forecasting. The purchaser looks after the purchases made, and any if it is a technology driven product, then technological person is involved, technology based, because he has to specify the product details. Again, the credit terms have to be specified. Suppose if you go for a bulk orders, in case of single consumption, there is no need of credit or maybe no need of discounts as such. But when you enter into this industrial or business markets, there the promotions or these discounts play a major role. As the orders are in bulk, their pricing strategy is totally different. So here we can say these were some of the points of differentiation. Apart from this also, if you take the basic like promotional strategies, they differ for consumer market, business markets. When you are taking into consideration the business market, there is no need to advertise on television. There is no need to advertise on FM channels as such. Okay, directly you can go for catalog marketing. The most stress is on personal visits through the salesperson, promotion through credits, promotion through getting the bulk orders, maintaining the reputation, the goodwill of the company. So here again, promotional strategies, they differ in both the aspects. So these are some of the points of differentiation between the consumer market and the business markets or industrial markets. Now, if you see some of the basis for the segmentation of these business markets, it's the demographic features of the company. So here, if you see the first and foremost point, it's the industry. Demographic, which type of industry it is, whether it comes into the essential goods, whether it is a small scale industry, whether it is a government run industry, whether it's a private industry, it's for the public industry, which type of industry it is. So based upon this demographic factor, basically, many things depend upon this. Again, what is the size of the company? Whether it is small, it wants to cater to just the regional area. Maybe it is restricted to a particular district, particular state. or on the basis of nation or in the international markets. So here here in this case, it depends upon the company size also. So what would be the market to whom you are catering? That is what is the size of the particular market. Suppose initially you start with the region wise area, a small area, and then slowly, generally this is the tendency that company expands the market. So here maybe initially you think of strategies designed to the local level and then you increase. That is one case. Second thing, maybe you want to start at the local level and diversify the product. Even that is possible. And gain more of the market share in the diversified product category. Location, again, your geographical location is very important because your pricing of the product is decided by the input of the materials. If you spend more of the money on the transportation of raw materials, ultimately it's going to add to the pricing of the product. Usually it's seen that whatever inputs goes into an organization or a company, okay, make optimum use of all these resources. A company should not suffer unless and until there is prior need. Okay. So that is what about the demographic features of the organization. Operating variables. Now, operating variables, these are related to company or the organization. That's why we say it's operating variables. Variables which may vary with the time, with the constraints, with the government rules, regulations, with the environment, there is a possibility of changing this attributes. That's why we say it's a operating variables. The first and foremost is the technology. Those products which are technology driven products need every now and then research and development. Because if a competitor enters into your arena, there is a possibility that your product may be kicked out of market. So those who are into the technological area, they need to take care of this, that the product should always be follow some innovations or innovative patterns. Something new has to be added to it. That is what is driven by technology. That's why we say it is the variable which varies. There is no constant path as far as this technology is considered. Every now and then we see that there are technological changes. So here, if the product is into this category, then it is the technological changes is naturally going to affect. The next is the user or non-user status. Now, in case of operating variables, whether you want to make use of that particular component or not, it depends upon the organization. There are many options available as far as the input of raw materials considered, input of contents which goes into a product is considered. Now this again depends upon what is the offering which you want to give to the market. In case of business markets, it plays a very important role. As I said previously, I had discussed, suppose if you are a toothpaste manufacturer, for example, okay, now you can go for aesthetic value, you can go for medicinal value also, you can go for aesthetic plus medicinal, or for on the Ayurvedic concept, that is medicinal stress plus aesthetic. Now here, what exactly you want? It depends upon the individual company, it varies. If you see different brands are there. If you simple example of toothpaste is considered, it's in the gel from the, if you see the paste, there are a lot of varieties, there are a lot of flanker products which are available. Some are based upon the concept of Ayurveda, some are based upon the chemical components. So, what exactly you want? Now, why this is important? Because whatever you are offering will become the input. Tomorrow, suppose I feel that into the Ayurvedic concepts, there are many competitors. I want to switch. So, maybe I'm changing this status. Okay, I don't want to be moreover in this area. I want to go for aesthetic value. So I jump from this status to that. That's why again it becomes a variable which varies with time and customer preference. The next is the customer capabilities. What is this customer capabilities? Now here, whatever you think as an input in an organization, whether the customer is welcoming for it. Now we are speaking in terms of industrial markets or buyer markets. So here, when you are selling it to a business market, when they are purchasing in bulk, whether the organization to which you are selling the goods is financially well. What about the goodwill? Financially well means again it is related to monetary part. How much credit? 30 days, 45 days, 15 days. It will again affect your organization indirectly. So this reflect the customer capabilities. How much capable is the customer? Suppose if they place the orders into 2 or 3 segmental approaches. Okay. The ingredient is the same, but it is used into 2 or 3 segments. So in that case, suppose you want to go for customization. Okay. You are a manufacturer of a piston. In that case, the sizes may vary according to the requirement of the customers. Or maybe you are a manufacturer of the industrial pipes or pistons. So here, what is the requirement or capability of the industrial buyer or customer? It depends upon that. Similarly, next is the purchasing function. Purchasing is one of the important aspects. What is the modus operandi as far as the purchasing function is considered? Whether they go for, once in 6 months, after 3 months, whether there are fluctuations, maybe in 15 days the order goes up, again it comes down. So here, whether there is any consistency in this purchasing function, or maybe seasonal approach. In case of seasonal categories, it is a seasonal approach. So according to that, the prices are decided, and that's why this plays a very important role. Whether the inventory, whatever they purchase, okay, they are able to maintain throughout. That means the orders, whichever they are placing, whether they are in a periodic review. So that is what is about purchasing functions. The next is the power structure. Power structure of the organization. Now, maybe many of the companies, if you see organizations, they have the decentralized powers. Many of them, they have the centralized powers. In case of strategic business units, again, the case is very different. Some of them, in case of strategic business units, they operate under a single umbrella. That is, each and every purchasing function is carried out by a single uh, department, okay, which caters to different strategic business units. While on the other side, there may be a single unit which takes care of the purchasing function. That is what, where do the power exists. So in case of strategic business units, it's more complex because again more strategic business units are there and varied are their requirements in maybe in different sizes, different textures. While in case of a singly operated unit, it becomes much more simpler and much more easier. Now, nature of existing relationships of these organizations. So here there are more suppliers, there are more purchasers in industrial markets also. So what is the interlinkage of one to another industry? How linked they are? Whether the pricing of raw material is totally dependent upon the other organization, whether the supplier has monopoly or there are many competitors or it is just the oligopoly market. So here it depends upon the scenario of the market, the nature of relationship of these two industries depends upon several factors like government rules are there, the economic conditions are there, the stage of competitors are there, which type of industry it is. So all this comes into the factors affect this relationship. The next is the general purchase policies. Now, maybe in some organizations, the purchasing policies might be very much stringent. They have to go through the process itself, purchase policies. Every organization has purchase policies, but some organizations are very stringent, while maybe some organizations are there where they have some liberal policies. In some cases, the specifications do matter a lot, while in some cases, the specification does not matter. Now, wherever the products goes as an input in technical products, okay, these are mandatory. There are quality measures also. So here many things goes into this purchasing policies. Now, based upon this is the purchasing criteria. On what basis you decide the purchasing criteria? Is it on the basis of regular orders or seasonal orders or cyclical fluctuations? These three are the categories. Pricing strategies based upon credit, based upon cash, based upon discounts, based upon relationships in between these two organizations. So here based upon this, there are the purchasing criteria decided by the organization. Situational factors. What are the situational factors? They change, the trend changes with the situation. The first is the urgency. Suppose if it's an urgent need, I am into the manufacturer of maybe medicines or medical equipments. It is the urgency, I need it. Okay, the government has made it mandatory and the supplier, okay, in this case, suppose you have a good relationship with the supplier. Urgently, I need this. Maybe you may have the general purchasing policy, like you have to have the orders in a written format. You need to fill up a number of forms. You need to take the permissions. But in the scenario of situational factor, maybe it's very urgent. Oral communication will also work. Specific applications. So here, based on the product input, on what basis are this product taken into application part? So this depends upon the situational factors. Many a times, if your proportion to a particular organization, if the supply is in the ratio of suppose 30 is to 30 is to 30, okay, and the demand from a particular sector goes up, in that case, the proportion changes. It may not be the usual 30s to 30s to 30. For three segments, it may differ. That is what is specific application. If they receive the business partner, if they receive the order for a particular segment, they will place the order for that segment only. That will increase. So here this is, depends upon the situational factor. Similarly, size of the order. Suppose if you place the size of the order, the usual orders may be not that much bulky, but certainly if there is rise, so whether to supply it to the organization, or you should deny it? And in what way? This is related to the few further, that is the personal characteristics. Personal characteristics means buyer and similarity, whether the products are associated, whether they are assembled, whether the input goes as a very small ingredient or a very large ingredient into the product. If that is, if it is 10%, 20%, or the raw material takes a part of major ingredient. So that is what is the personal characteristics. Attitude towards risk. When you place the bulk orders, okay, bulk orders means involvement of more money. Financially, you lock more amount of money. If suppose tomorrow you are expecting that you have forecasted a particular demand, okay, and on the basis of that you place the orders, you are increasing your inventory, you are locking your finance. And if you don't get the orders, okay, then the company will say that since the credit period is over, please pay us our bills. Now, if they have a good relationship, maybe the company can just request them to wait for some days till the goods are sold out in the market. If suppose the relations are not that friendly, then in that case, maybe if you have some norms, some negotiations, you have legal bindings, then you will have to pay. So this is attitude towards the risk. Whenever you are taking the decision of segmenting on this aspect and deciding on the particular market, this attitude towards risk plays a major role. The next is the loyalty. Based upon the loyalty of the customers, you segment the market. We are speaking in terms of industrial purchasers and buyers. So here when it is a bulk order, as the competition increases, the retention of the employees or retention of their loyalty plays a major role here in this aspect. So these are some of the points as far as the industrial segmentation is considered. Now I think I have discussed the benefit of segmentation, isn't it, in the previous sessions? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
So I have discussed this, and even this market segmentation approach. This is also applicable to industrial markets. Also, I have discussed the target marketing in the previous session, isn't it? Now we go to the next part, that is market potential. So first and foremost thing, whether there is a need of the product. Genuine need is one thing, created need is the other thing. Now genuine need, what is a genuine need?
Like,
I give you an example of, yes, hello?
yes, ma'am, Neha here.
Yes,
I think
Neha.
it is a genuine need, like any medicine.
Yeah, any medicine. Maybe you are not well, you need a medicine. That is a genuine need. Okay. Maybe you are thirsty, you need a packaged water bottle. That's a concept where basic need is emphasized. Now here there are also created needs. Maybe what is this created needs? For the sake of comfort, for the sake of your dietary habits. Okay. Where people are emphasized on the need of the product and the products are marketed. Can you think of some of the products which come into this category?
On created needs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like मैम पहले जो टीवी हुआ करते थे वो सिंपल होते थे, like the need has been created, MITV and the smart phones, like हमारा काम एक सिंपल फोन से भी हो सकता था, बट एक नीड क्रिएट हुई मार्केट में कि MITV का प्रमोशन हुआ एंड देन लोग MITV खरीदने लगे. तो
Okay.
not sure it's correct or not. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, see, whenever it's a technology driven product, no, Neha, na?
Yes, ma'am.
See, technology is going to always replace. Now here, you can say it's a status symbol or a comfort. Which one is seeking? So based upon the comfort is there. Second thing is some of the products, you know, like we say Kellogg's actually need, hey, what is the emphasis of this product? Kellogg's when it entered into Indian market, ये चला नहीं है, इसका एक case study है, okay? They emphasized on the K challenge with the celebrity endorsement, and then it started penetrating, and the need created was health consciousness, healthy dietary habit, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Now I understand.
So that is what is the created need. If you see the cosmetic industries, as I say, they are not selling the product. What they are selling?
And
They are selling the hope.
okay.
Whatever are those products which come into this category, they sell you the hope.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
hope, maybe आपका स्किन बहुत ग्लो होगा है, इस पे ऐसा है advertising. If you see, what is the emphasis on the aesthetic appeal, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Anti-aging creams, Fair and Lovely. So whatever comes into this segment, all these are created needs actually. Through imbibing this into the customer's mind, changing their attitude slowly and steadily, these products have picked in the market. Can you think of any other products which come into this category? Hello?
Luxury car brands and all.
Luxury?
Car brands.
Luxury cars.
Yeah.
And what is the emphasis into luxury cars?
Actually, you can even drive an XUV 500 or anything of that sort around. Okay. But then people like the companies have created the need of like say a Mercedes or a BMW SUV or something like that. And people literally invest like crores of rupees into that.
Okay, and what might be the reason?
Comfortable. I mean, comfort zone. Maybe more.
It is a comfort zone. Apart from comfort zone, previously, if you see, as you said, the example of a car. किसकी मोनोपोली थी पहले कार इंडस्ट्री में इंडिया में?
Maruti.
Yeah, Maruti had its monopoly, isn't it? Do you agree? All of you?
Yes.
The foreign entrants came after this globalization, privatization, liberalization के बाद सारे foreign industries आई है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
So previously we had Maruti with the, what was the car which had the highest market share तभी?
Maruti 800.
Maruti 800.
Maruti 800. Yes, Maruti 800 था. और वो कौन सा segment है Maruti 800 का अभी? फिर?
Maruti 800 के segment में अभी कोई भी गाड़ी नहीं है. वो बस nano है.
Hello, Fini.
Yeah, ma'am.
Can you be a bit loud? I did not hear you.
Ma'am, in Maruti segment, there's no such cars now. It's just nano, I guess.
Nano that type.
Yes. What do the others feel? Whether they agree?
Yes, madam.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Now see here, Maruti 800 was a need-based car. Okay. Just as a means of transport. उसके पहले कौन सी गाड़ियाँ थी? We used to say today luxurious. That time जो शान रहती थी. Even today we find some of them.
It was the Ambassador, I guess.
Ambassador. Premier Padmini.
Yeah.
और कौन सा था? White Elephant. अभी भी इट्स इन द गवर्नमेंट सेगमेंट, थोड़ा बहुत दिखेगा आपको, ज्यादा है नहीं.
Lengthy.
It has been replaced. व्हाइट कलर की कार रहती थी. I cannot recall the name. Okay. So here that is a need. So ये जो स्मॉल सेगमेंट था मारुति जो 800 है ना, जस्ट टू केटर टू द नीड ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन, एक कार्स एज अ स्टेटस सिंबल उतना ही रहता था. ओके. What happened when this foreign entrance, foreign manufacturers entered India? Okay, they initially entered with the higher segment, some of them. Okay. So what Maruti did, you know, Maruti had two problems. Okay, one is it could not stretch down because Maruti 800 was the level. The second thing, the competition was from the mid and the higher segment. So it had to think out of the box for the luxurious segment. So here, to beat the competition from Maruti, okay, many of the MNCs has to come down, stretching down their market with the mid segment car. Those who had the into the luxury segment, they had to come down to penetrate or to beat the competition from Maruti. Okay, so here need of the product, that is what is the market potential. Some of the needs will click while some of them will not click if the customer understand the genuineness कि नहीं है ये सिर्फ क्या है. जैसे we had one multi-level marketing company, if you remember, of magnetic beds. Okay, where you have the multi-level marketing from one person to other person on based upon that model. तो वो चला नहीं because people did not find the results and they thought that it was a wastage of money. पता है किसी को ये product?
No, ma'am.
No.
Not aware. Yeah.
Yeah, and the bed used to cost from maybe 1,20,000 to 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs. Okay. तो ये failure हो गया product because people understood that it's not a need based, and those who tried, you know, they were patients. उनको they were ailing with one or the other type of complaints health wise, and that's why to get rid of their health status they had purchased this product. So here suppose if even though created needs, abhi if you see all the cosmetics they are clicking because somewhere or the other, what is the benefit which the customer is getting in this?
Satisfied.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What did you say?
Ma'am, customer is getting satisfied in this case.
Yeah. So it is known as psychological satisfaction. Okay.
Yes.
So based upon this psychology, they are targeting the market. So that is need based type of the product. Now here, if you have the potential, छोटा अगर product है, छोटा in the sense maybe financially it comes into the range of FMCG category day to day, not much of worry. You can think of potential market for that. But if more money is involved, then again it is a problem. That is a type of product. Competitors. Next part is how many competitors are there in a particular segment. If there is one or two, then it is okay. If there are more competitors, then whether to enter into that zone, that area. Okay. And then you go for sales appropriation, that is sales forecasting also. What would be the sales? That is what is market potential about. And then you design the appropriate marketing strategy. So whenever you take into consideration the market potential, okay, the company works out what is the potential of a particular region. What do you understand by this market potential? How many people have the capability and capacity to purchase this product? How many of them are ready to accept the product, purchase the product? That is what we say it as a market potential. And then we make the marketing mix appropriations with respect to these potential markets. Like we design the product accordingly, we think of pricing the product accordingly to that segment, appeal that segment through different promotional tools. So what would be the promotional tools applicable that we discuss here? What would be the distribution channel, whether it would be direct channel, whether it would be through retailer, through dealer. That is what is discussed in this market potential. And next part, we take the market share. Based upon this market potential, you take into consideration the market share. That is actual purchase of product with respect to particular market, with respect to particular area. Many a times we say that, what is the market share of so and so company? What does that mean? What we are doing exactly here? We generally use this term, no? इसका market share इतना है, वो company का उतना है. What do you mean by this market share?
Ma'am, owner of the company or maybe shareholder.
No, when we say it's a market share, कैसा है? We speak market share in terms of competitors' perspectives. Suppose in a single product category, okay, like FMCG. FMCG में क्या है? You have हिंदुस्तान लीवर है, you have PNG है, you have और 2-3 जैसे डाबर है, और कोई इंडियन है, पतंजलि है, ओके, और 2-4 कंपनीज है. So when you have competitors, in the competitive perspective, what is the market share? कितना मार्केट एक कंपनी ने ऑक्यूपाई किया है? That is what. अब ये रिफ्लेक्ट कैसे होगा? When we say कितना ऑक्यूपाई किया है का मतलब क्या है?
How many customers they are holding?
Not only customers, but market share is reflected in financial terms. सेल्स में रिफ्लेक्ट होता है. सेल्स में यानी कितने अमाउंट का सेल्स वहां पे परचेस हुआ है, यानी सेल हुआ है वहां पे. सो इट इज रिफ्लेक्टेड इन टर्म्स ऑफ मनी. दिस मार्केट शेयर, पेनिट्रेशन ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट इन द मार्केट, कितने का सेल्स हुआ, इट इज रिफ्लेक्टेड. अभी जो हम मार्केट शेयर बोलते हैं ना, वो क्या है? इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ फाइनेंस, नो? So that reflection of company sales in financial terms is the market share. So that's why we say it's a financial perspective. That is one angle to it. And market share क्या reflect करता है ultimately? It reflects the goodwill of the company and the brand equity. Many times you see that the brands are taken over, or there is a merger or acquisition. Okay. What is the important role in this? If suppose the company has a products of a very good brand क्या है? Quality emphasis है. That's why we say it's a brand, and brand equity is measured. This brand equity is very important, one of the important measures of financial perspective. Tomorrow, if a company wants to sell a particular brand, okay, this brand equity will be one of the source of income for the organization or for the company. Now this is about the market share. Now one more point which is remaining in this is long tail marketing. Now what is this long tail marketing? The companies may be having n number of products to offer, but there might be a special cadre of niche markets with the product or service. Now here, this is possible where maybe for a huge market leader or a very big company who has many products in his bundle to offer. Maybe a छोटा सा segment है जहाँ पे need fulfill नहीं हो रहा है, and that's why this company think of satisfying them. The products may not be that demanding or popular, but still the company takes efforts to satisfy these customers. Now here pricing is one of the important attribute here. So suppose if you take today especially, you know, long tail marketing has emerged because of e-commerce. It is a part of e-commerce. Mostly you will say that this term is reflected in the online marketing concepts, e-tailers, now such as Amazon and Netflix. They manage inventories. They consider these niche markets which have less in demand, but they have their shelf space booked for this. For example, if you take into consideration the bookstores, you may find some of the books are there which are very rare, but still they occupy the shelf. Now again, if you take the cost of web page maintenance, it has some costs, but still they try to manage maintaining these costs because they do not want to lose the small segment of customers. They also want to cater to this segment by offering the product which wherein they find that there is some gap. Now this also allows this marketing, this type of long tail marketing allows the businesses to expand and meet the demands of the customers with their diverse needs. You can say those who do not come into this groups, out of the box thought people, okay, they are taken into consideration here. That's why those products maybe which are not in demand or services which are not in that demand, they come into this category which are bundled with the other popular products also. This is what is about long tail marketing. Now, any doubts as far as the segmentation, targeting and positioning is considered? Hello?
No doubt. Ma'am, just one question. For this long tail, can we say like better way to reach customers through e-commerce? Is it the correct long tail marketing?
Way to reach nahi hai long tail marketing. It is offering a product which is out of the box, which are not that popular. एक ऐसा सेगमेंट है जहां पे पॉपुलर प्रोडक्ट्स की डिमांड नहीं है. ओके, these are the people those who pursue some different interest, and that's why they are just included into the product portfolio of the company. Long list of products are displayed, but one or two or three products may be such that they are not much popular, but order is being placed for those products by few loyal customers, those who are satisfied with that product. Okay. Any doubts? Maybe I will finish next chapters, and maybe again practically we will discuss this with respect to different product categories. Okay. Once we finish off with the consumer behavior and the PLC, then we might again discuss all these chapters with respect to practical approaches. Okay. Today we will stop here. Tomorrow I will start with consumer behavior then. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome.